Afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the latest Spirit Shack look in the mini-series on the 7 principles of spiritualism. I'm Harding-Rathbone, and for once I'm blending into my surroundings with a green jumper next to a green hedge in a green garden. But I want to talk to you today about principle number 3. And I apologise if I'm out of breath, but my back is not very good today. Number 3. The communion of spirits and the ministry of angels. Now, for, I don't know, however long has been, however long time has existed, we've been communicating with one another, and we've been communicating with our loved ones who've gone beyond us. There's not a pre-tradition of modern religion existing traditional faith structure that doesn't have in some way communication with the spirit world. Yes, some deliberately do it to the bad side, but there are very, very many who, and I say bad side as the common locutor, but the vast majority have always been happy and willing to communicate with our brothers and sisters and our uncles and aunts in the spirit world. And that's what happens today. And the one thing that separates us in spiritualism from every other belief structure in the world is that you're not required to have blind faith. What we do in a scientific age, albeit a very unscientific practice, is we give proof. You no longer need to just live in hope. You can live in fact. Now, I came from a background where absolutely not, you didn't do that. Your faith had to be absolute, your faith had to be blind. Well, my faith is still, or my belief is still absolute in the love of an eternally giving, compassionate, caring, nurturing Creator. It just so happens that I have faith now. And that's really it. There's not a lot more I can say about the communion of spirit. Spirit communicates with us to prove one thing, though. And it's not to come and say, Great Aunt Hilda's here and she was a lovely lady who smelt of roses, although sometimes that's all we get on the platform. We have to give what we can get. It's to prove one thing beyond all other, and that's that life is eternal, that you can't die however hard you try. That when we finish on this mortal coil, as it's called, we move to a higher plane of existence. And there we communicate with one another, and with those we have left behind, and those who are still to come, and we guide and we support them. And that is our role. And that is what Spirit do. They come and tell us that they're still here. And that as sure as there were clouds up in the sky, even though it's a fairly beautiful night, and if you look over there, you'll see the startings of a most gorgeous sunset that I can't quite focus on with my phone, but as sure as these wonderful natural order things take place, so is communication part of the natural order, and Spirit will continue to communicate as long as there is natural order, and we will continue to listen and to recognise their voices. And their voices also, as does God's, come in love. And they come to prove, as I say, that life goes beyond death and that there is nothing to worry about. Because once that worry is taken away, my friends, then we're free to live our lives to the best of our abilities and to how we feel we should, to learn, to gather, to guide, to inspire, and do all those things that we were not able to do when we still lived in fear. And it's the one thing that unites us, be we Christians, Jews, Hindus, Buddhists, spiritualists, Maoists, Taoists, Shintoists, Hinduists, Baha'ists, whatever name you want to give us. The one thing that unites us all, despite our apparent division, is, as human beings, we don't know what happens when we die. Well, here, at last, is a system that does tell you what happens after death. Here is a fact-based system that guides and inspires us to move on to greater things. And when we're free of that life-limiting worry or concern that what happens after we die, when we know the facts, when we know the truth, then we can go on and achieve so much more in our lives that we weren't able to do up until this point. And that's where the ministry of angels come in. Yes, the spirit world come in love. Yes, they bring us, hello, Mr. Crow, wherever you are. Yes, they come and they bring us messages of the continuation of life. Yes, they inspire us to go on and separate ourselves from the pain and suffering of not knowing. Yes, they reunite us with our loved ones. Yes, occasionally they tell us how we are and that we're going to be all right a week on Tuesday and that we should stop panicking. But then we have a duty to continue to learn, to understand, to grow in knowledge, and that's where the higher realms of spirit and the archangelic and angelic realms come from. Their role is to guide and inspire us by teaching us higher, finer, purer parts of knowledge of life. And that is a ministry in itself. I mean, personally, I consider that the spirit world is on a ministry, just as much as I'm on a ministry to bring that hope and sense of well-being and empowerment to all those who join us from the spirit world. I also believe that the angels and archangelic worlds bring a stronger, more advanced, more focused form of teaching, because when we know that there's nothing left to fear, that's when we should be freeing ourselves and saying, yes, I can go on and I can learn. So there you are, communion of spirit and the ministry of angels. On this beautiful evening, I wish you every happiness. Have a joyful Halloween. If you must go trick-or-treating, don't dress up as clowns. It's a horrible thing to do at the moment. For some reason, it's just the latest crazy phase. Have fun, be safe, and we'll see you on the other side. Namaste.